Sagittarius. Perhaps you can feel something shifting inside your heart, something you can't quite name, just an intuition whispering that a certain chapter is about to close. It could be a relationship you once believed would last a lifetime, a dream you've chased with all your faith, or simply a part of your old self that's slowly fading away. Even if you don't want to admit it, you know a divine cut is coming. But don't be afraid. Sometimes, what seems like loss is actually the universe's way of protecting you from what no longer belongs to you. Sagittarius was born as a child of light, one who seeks meaning, freedom, and truth. Yet along that journey, your heart has been wounded more than once by things that seem to be the right person, the right time. Maybe you're still holding on to something not because it's good for you, but because you fear the emptiness that might come when it's gone. And in that very moment, God begins to prepare a delicate blade, not to punish, but to cut away the cords that have bound your wings of freedom. This video isn't just about loss. It's about liberation, about learning how to trust, even when there's nothing left to hold on to. Because Sagittarius, you were never meant to live in the cage of safety, but to step out, look back, and rediscover yourself among countless skies. If you feel your heart being called by this message, leave a comment saying, "I trust the cut of the universe." It's not just a sentence, it's a declaration of your soul, that you're ready for the turning point. And if you're here right now, don't forget to like and subscribe, so when this door closes, you won't walk through it alone. Now, prepare yourself a cup of tea or your favorite coffee, sit down in stillness, and let's listen together to the story the universe is whispering just for Sagittarius. Part 1. The Divinely Ordained Loss. Sagittarius. Have you ever felt like you're standing at a strange turning point in your life? Everything on the outside seems fine. Yet, deep within, there's an indescribable feeling as if something is about to leave or be cut away from your life. Something that, if it were a few years ago, you would have done anything to keep. It could be someone who once made you believe they were your guiding star. It could be a job, a relationship, or a dream you once thought you'd chase for the rest of your life. But now, when you look back, you realize its energy has shifted. The light isn't as bright as it once was, and your smile, it no longer comes from joy, but from the effort of hiding your exhaustion. Sagittarius was born with the heart of a wanderer, always searching for meaning, freedom, and the light of truth. Yet on your journey to find your star, you sometimes forget that true light doesn't lie at the destination. It lives within your own heart. And by forgetting that, you've unknowingly handed your torch to someone else, letting them hold it, control it, or even extinguish it. God, or the universe, has seen this for a long time. He sees you staying strong, still smiling, still saying, "Everything's fine," while your soul grows weary from holding on to what no longer fits. And because you've been so loyal to an old dream, he has no choice but to intervene, not to punish you, but to save you. The universe is preparing a cut for you, an event, a shift, or perhaps a careless word that will make everything you've relied on begin to shake. You'll be confused, you'll hurt, and you won't understand why it's happening. But behind the fog of loss, a new map of destiny is being redrawn, one that's leading you back to the exact path your soul chose before it was born. The image of Sagittarius, half human, half horse, symbolizes the dual nature within you, both rational and wild, yearning to move forward, yet afraid to lose your anchor. And now, what God is about to cut away is the rein, the very thing you thought kept you safe, but that has actually kept you from flying free. You've lived too long in the comfort zone, in the role of the strong one, the optimistic one, the one who always knows what to do. But who comforts the bringer of light when they get lost in their own darkness? Maybe you're hearing these words with a trembling heart. Because deep down, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A connection you know is nearing its end. A person whose energy no longer resonates with yours, yet you haven't found the courage to let go. Sagittarius, it's time to admit, true freedom isn't about having everything. It's about knowing what to leave behind. The coming cut may terrify you, as if you've lost all direction in the desert. But it's in that desert that you'll hear your soul's whisper more clearly. God doesn't take away what you need. He takes away what you no longer need. He doesn't close a door to trap you, but so you'll look up and find another one, wider, brighter, and truer to your free spirit. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize what was cut away was never a loss. It was a gift disguised as pain, a gift that brought you back to yourself. So, if today you feel an emptiness opening within your heart, don't rush to fill it. Let it be the space where something new can enter. Let the universe do its work. Let God correct the flight path of your arrow, so it may once again soar toward the light. If these words resonate with your soul, Sagittarius, leave a comment saying, "I am ready to trust the divine arrangement." Hit like and subscribe so we can walk this journey together, because the next messages will help you understand that nothing is truly lost. It's simply being rearranged in a more perfect way. Now, brew yourself a warm cup of tea, take a deep breath, and sit down, because the journey the universe is about to reveal to you has only just begun. Part 2. The cut is a purification of faith. Sagittarius, have you ever felt that the universe is testing your faith, not through what you lose, but by making you ask, "Can I still believe?" That is exactly the phase you are entering. A stage that is not easy, not loud, but deeply transformative down to the very bones of your being. Because Sagittarius, the sign of truth, faith, and philosophy, was never born to live superficially. Your soul constantly seeks the truth, even when that truth hurts. And that is why the cuts that God sends to Sagittarius are never merely to take away, but to purify your faith. To show you what is real and what is merely an illusion you've believed for too long. Maybe you once believed this love was destiny. Maybe you once believed that job was your life's mission. Maybe you once believed that if you held on long enough, things would return to how they used to be. But then, the universe began to stop things from working the way you expected. Doors no longer opened. Words no longer connected. People who once felt like light suddenly became strangers. Not because you did something wrong, but because the universe is teaching you a greater lesson. To believe in the journey, not just in the outcome. God does not take away what you love. He is cleansing your faith of fear and control. He wants you to recognize the difference between true faith, which makes you strong, free, and clear, and illusion, which makes you dependent, blind, and disconnected from yourself. For Sagittarius, born from November 23, December 1, your cut comes from a betrayed faith. Someone you trusted blindly may have revealed their true face. Not to make you lose faith in people, but to help you learn to trust your own intuition. You once gave your faith away. Now the universe is teaching you to root it back within your own heart. For Sagittarius, born from December 2, December 11, your cut may come from a delayed dream, a journey that no longer moves as planned. You may feel stopped right before the finish line. But Sagittarius, have you ever thought that perhaps the universe isn't blocking you? It's redirecting you toward a truer path. Sometimes, not getting what you want is how God protects you from what you're not yet ready to receive. For Sagittarius, born from December 12, December 21, Your cut lies in a role or mission you've carried for too long, but that no longer fits. Perhaps you've been living for responsibility, image, or an outdated ideal. But now, your soul has evolved, and God is gently removing those layers. Don't be afraid if you no longer recognize yourself. That's the sign you're evolving. Sagittarius is the sign of knowledge and experience you don't learn from books alone, but through the wounds that have opened. The universe chose you as a living example that true faith is only proven when everything around you collapses. And yet you still believe. Look back. How many times did you think you'd lost everything, only to find the light again within the ashes? You are not losing. You are being separated from what no longer vibrates at the same frequency as your soul. Like climbing a mountain, you must leave behind old baggage. This cut is a purification to make you lighter, truer, brighter. So if you feel everything slipping away, don't despair. Ask yourself, what is the lesson here? Why does God need me to release this? You'll realize He never takes away what is good. It's just that it's no longer good for you. Your faith is being tested by fire. And like real gold, it only shines brighter after it's passed through the flame. If you are in the phase of being cut, take a deep breath and smile. Your soul is being upgraded. You are not losing anything. You are returning to yourself. Sagittarius, if you feel like you're in the storm of change, comment, I choose to trust this journey. That's your affirmation to the universe that you are no longer running from the lesson, but ready to embrace it with courage. Hit like and subscribe so we can continue walking this path together. Because in the next part, you'll understand more clearly. The real battle isn't out there. It's within your own heart. Part 3. The inner battle of faith within Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Have you ever wondered why every time you say, I trust the universe, life immediately begins to test that very trust? It seems that the moment you declare your faith, you're thrown into situations that force you to prove it. That is exactly the phase you're moving through now. The battle between faith and fear, between the ego that wants control and the soul that longs to surrender to the flow of the universe. Sagittarius is the sign of light. But light only shines its brightest after it has passed through darkness. And right now, the light within you is struggling to survive amid the shadows of doubt, disappointment, and loss. This cut doesn't just take away what you love, it strips away your idea of faith. You say you trust the universe, but when everything starts to fall apart, when the one you love turns away, when the job you depended on ends, when the dream hits a dead end, do you still trust? That is the moment every Sagittarius must face at least once in a lifetime. Standing in the desert of the soul, with no one left to lean on, no clear path ahead. And in that emptiness, with a trembling heart, you must choose to believe or to give up. You'll want to cling to what's familiar. You'll want to run from the pain. You'll want to convince yourself, maybe the universe made a mistake. But Sagittarius, you can't fly if you keep holding on to the bowstring. The arrow cannot soar if it's never released. Imagine this. You are that arrow. The pullback, the tension, the setbacks, the heartbreaks are what you're feeling right now. You feel like you're being pulled backward, restrained, compressed. But that very pull is what gives you the force to shoot farther, higher, and more accurately into your destiny. It's not that God is taking from you. He's teaching you how to trust when there's nothing left to hold on to. When there's no one left to rely on, you'll learn to trust your soul. When there's nowhere left to lean, you'll learn to stand tall on the legs of faith. And when everything collapses, you'll realize true faith doesn't need proof. It only needs a heart that whispers, I will be okay. In this phase, you may feel torn apart. One part of you wants to surrender. Another urges you to keep fighting. One part clings to the past. Another yearns for the future. You'll feel split in two. But remember, every true transformation begins with a breaking. The universe isn't punishing you. It's refining your soul like fire refining gold. You cannot become the Sagittarius of light without first walking through the dark night of doubt. You must face your own fragility before you can truly understand your strength. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize the tears you cry today, the nights you whispered, "I can't take this anymore," are what made you wiser than any philosophy you've ever read. Because you're no longer just speaking about faith. You've become faith itself. Let yourself feel it all. Fear, anger, confusion. It's all valid. But don't let those feelings make you forget that even when you have no idea where you're going, the universe still knows. You only need to take one more small step to believe just a little longer. Because sometimes, faith is simply not stopping. Remember, Sagittarius is the traveler between worlds, born to walk, to explore, to believe in things others call impossible. So don't fear when people don't understand you. Don't despair when everything around you breaks. For in that breaking, your soul is opening wider than ever before. If you now stand at the edge between letting go and holding on, between faith and doubt, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, if I truly trust the universe, what would I choose? Then take that step, even if it's just one small one. Sagittarius, if you've ever had to let go of something that terrified you, leave a comment. I trust the leap of my soul. It's not just a sentence, it's your vow for a new chapter, where you no longer need evidence to believe, but believe simply because your heart knows the universe has never abandoned you. Hit like and subscribe to continue walking this path together, because in the next part, you'll witness the miracle that happens when one door closes and a new horizon opens right before your eyes. Part 3. When one door closes, a new horizon opens. Sagittarius. When a chapter of your life closes, do you notice the quiet sound that follows? That stillness, as if the world has stopped spinning for a moment, as if you've been dropped into an empty land. No voices, no map, only you and your own breath. This is the aftercut phase. The stage where everything once familiar begins to fade. People, work, habits, even the old version of yourself. You wake up each morning, realizing that everything has changed, yet you don't quite know who you're becoming. You feel lonely, disoriented, like wandering through a vast desert with no guide, no signal, just the aching silence pressing against your chest. But within that desert, something miraculous is quietly unfolding. When there's nothing left to cling to, you begin learning how to hold on to the light within. When all the outer noise disappears, you finally hear the voice of your soul, a voice you had long forgotten while chasing what you thought you should have, should keep, or should achieve. And then, in that emptiness, you begin to notice a faint light on the horizon. That light doesn't come from outside, it comes from within you. From your awakening through the pain, it's the light of a new journey, one of truth, faith, and genuine freedom. Sagittarius finally understands. Freedom isn't about having everything. It's about having the courage to lose what isn't meant for you. Freedom isn't about soaring high. It's about freeing your wings from the invisible threads of fear. And the paradox is this: the universe can only give you a new sky when you're brave enough to leave the old cage. The divine cut wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to help you fly higher. God knows that sometimes, to rise, you must lose your old wings, the ones that were once beautiful but have grown weary and heavy. He knows that as the soul matures, the universe doesn't add more, it removes. so that you may become lighter, truer, freer, and then you start to see things differently. You no longer call what's gone loss, you call it liberation. You no longer call those who left betrayers, you call them teachers. You no longer call endings final, you call them transitions. Everything that once hurt now becomes a part of your story that helps you know yourself more deeply. The Sagittarius of today is no longer afraid of change, but one who dares to leap trusting that the wings will open before hitting the ground. And one morning, you realize you no longer think of the past with fear, but with gratitude. You understand that without those cuts, you would never have found the path truly meant for you. Remember, Sagittarius, every closed door is a reminder that it's time to go further. Further beyond the comfort zone. Further beyond old definitions of who you were. Further beyond the limits you once set for yourself. Because your horizon has never been where you stand. It has always been where your heart dares to go. When a chapter ends, let it close completely. Don't try to reopen the door that God has sealed. Don't knock on the past. When the present is inviting you through a new gate, one where the light no longer comes from others, but from your own soul, allow yourself a moment to rest. Then move forward. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You just need to trust that with every step you take, the universe is paving the path beneath your feet. Sagittarius, you are no longer who you used to be. You are being reborn not through miracles, but through the courage to face the truth. And that is a gift not everyone is brave enough to receive. If you feel like you're standing before a closing door, don't be afraid. Behind it lies a new horizon, wider, brighter, and meant just for you. Leave a comment. I am ready to open the new door. It's more than a sentence. It's a signal to the universe that you're ready to step into the next chapter of your soul's journey. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that when the new light of dawn rises, you'll never walk alone, but with those who share your faith, your growth, and your path beneath this infinite sky. Part 5. Rebirth and becoming the true Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you've walked through the long night. You've watched yourself fall apart, and at one point, you thought it was the end. But then, one morning, as the sunlight touches your face, you realize you're still here, and strangely, you feel at peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from pretending to be strong, but a true peace, because there's nothing left to fear. You've lost what you once thought was everything, only to realize you never truly lost yourself. The divine cut didn't destroy you, it gave you back your wings. Wings that had long been covered in the fog of fear, dependence, and endless shoulds. I should be this. I should keep that. I should hold on. I should hold on. Now that all of it has fallen away, you can finally feel something pure, radiant, and raw. Yourself. The true Sagittarius no longer seeks light outside, because you now know that light was never somewhere else. It has always lived within every breath, every belief, every moment you chose to keep walking. Even when the path was unclear, you no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Why? You begin to smile and say, "Thank you," because it helped me understand myself more deeply. The cut is no longer a wound, it's a sacred mark of maturity. God never took from you to punish you. He freed you from your old limitations so you could see beyond the horizon you once thought was the end. Picture yourself now. The centaur has finally shed its reins. It no longer fears losing direction, for it no longer needs anyone to lead it. It runs toward the call of its own soul toward the sun, where light, truth, and faith merge into one. It needs no map, for the compass lies within its heart. It needs no destination, for the journey itself has become the reward. You've come to understand a sacred truth. Freedom isn't found by running far away. It's found in returning to yourself. When you stop proving, stop fearing loss, stop seeking approval, that's when you become truly powerful. Because real strength isn't in control, it's in surrender. Not in holding tight, but in trusting deeply. Now, when you look back, you see that every loss, every betrayal, every closed door was the universe's way of redirecting you to your soul's true path. You no longer pray for things to go back to how they were. Because deep down, you know you no longer need the past. The Sagittarius of today is the one who has overcome themselves. You still carry the flame of freedom, light, and truth. But now that flame burns wiser, gentler, and deeper. It no longer burns to prove it glows to warm. It no longer flares from pain. It radiates from love, understanding, and gratitude. And do you know what's most miraculous, Sagittarius? When you stop searching for miracles, you become one. When you stop asking, "Does the universe hear me?" you become its voice. When you stop chasing, demanding, fearing, the universe begins to move toward you, opening doors, sending people, and aligning paths, all mirroring the frequency of your soul. Peace, freedom, true faith. From here on, even the smallest things become sacred. A quiet morning that moves you to tears. A simple encounter that opens a new chapter. Because you've become sensitive to light, the kind of light only those who have walked through darkness can truly see. Sagittarius, you have been reborn, not through an external miracle, but through the courage within. You are no longer a lost arrow. You are the archer of destiny, fully aware of your aim. Not wealth, not fame, but the truth and freedom of your soul. The divine cut didn't kill you. It simply stripped away everything false so that the truest part of you could live. And now, when you look up at the night sky, you finally understand. God never left. The universe never forgot you. Everything that happened was meant to bring you home to your most radiant, authentic self. If this message touches your heart, Sagittarius, leave a comment. I trust the divine cut of the universe. It's your soul's declaration that you've learned your lesson and are ready to step into a new chapter with light, awareness, and love. And don't forget to subscribe because your journey isn't over yet. The messages to come will guide you even further to the place where you no longer just see the light. You become the light. Sagittarius, after everything you've been through, this video isn't just a cosmic message. It's a mirror reflecting your own journey of growth. You've learned that not every loss is an ending. Sometimes, it's the universe clearing the path so something new can enter. You've come to understand that cutting away isn't separation. It's a sacred act of purification, allowing you to live more truthfully, more lightly, and more freely. The greatest lesson today is this: freedom doesn't come from holding on. It comes from daring to let go when it's time. Faith isn't about having proof. It's about believing, even when you can't yet see the way. When you learn to listen to your soul and trust the natural flow of life, you realize that God or the universe was never against you. He's simply teaching you to stop chasing what is temporary and start trusting what is eternal within. Remember this, Sagittarius: every time one door closes, the universe opens 10 more. You just need to be still enough to see them. And when you have enough faith, enough patience, enough love for yourself, you'll discover that what once felt lost was simply a gift returning in another form. So, when this video ends, don't stop at the emotion, put it into practice. Learn to step back when something no longer aligns with your frequency. Choose trust over fear. Choose peace over control. And choose yourself, because you are the most beautiful journey the universe ever created. If these words touch your heart, leave a comment. I trust the divine cut of the universe to anchor the energy of faith and new beginnings. Hit like to spread this message to other souls who need it, and subscribe to continue the journey where each video will be another doorway to deeper understanding, healing, and light. The universe always knows where you are, and when you're ready, it will send a sign to guide you back to your true path. You just need to trust, step, and breathe. See you in the next video, where we'll continue the journey back to the light, back to ourselves, and together uncover the wondrous secrets the universe is still whispering, just for Sagittarius.